Hi. So, when Koi gave us all this homework and asked us to just whip up a presentation about something, my first inclination was to go, why you should play Final Fantasy XIV, and why not trying the free trial, currently up to Stormblood and soon up to Shadowbringers? Which is peak, I might add. You'd be silly, stupid, ridiculous, possibly even insane. Unfortunately, FanFest is going on right now, and tons of new information is coming out, and I don't know, quite possibly, probably, procrastinated a bit too much. So instead, today we're going to be talking about types of fatigue and how your cumulative fatigue may be working against you day to day, leading you to not try the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. So first off, there are three main types of fatigue we're going to be talking about today. We have local fatigue, systemic fatigue, and emotional fatigue. Local fatigue, which is basically fatigue in a specific area of your body. You can think about it as your legs getting sore if you go for a run, or your neck hurting after a particularly rowdy night of headbanging. Systemic fatigue, on the other hand, is kind of body-wide fatigue. This can be your whole body being sore, but it also incorporates things like chronic illnesses and medical issues, and even if being sick is causing you to just feel sluggish and not want to do anything. It sounds almost kind of like a catch-all of local fatigue, but it doesn't quite catch everything. And that's because emotional fatigue is the last time. And as you can probably tell, it's fatigue that comes into your life due to emotional stressors, be it a high-stress situation at work or depression. Maybe you lost a family member recently and are struggling to deal with that. Anything that puts a burden on your mental load and your ability to emotionally regulate, that would fall under an emotional fatigue. All of these combined together into the big bag ugly that we all know as total cumulative fatigue, or the total accumulation of fatigue that you're able to build up and handle in your day-to-day life. If you've ever had plans that by the time they roll around, you just cannot understand what you were thinking when you decided to plan them. It's like the end of the work week comes and you're just like, fuck, man, I don't want to do anything. I do not have the energy. Everything we do or experience has a cost in some way. Be it physically, emotionally, mentally, all of them cause stress to build up and stack up, and it fatigues us. You hit a hard leg day on Monday, and then Tuesday rolls around, and your boss yells at you because you fucked up, and your car breaks down Wednesday, partner cheats on you on a Friday. By the time you get to the end of the week, they all just stack together. Be it local, systemic, emotional, and eventually you just don't have the energy for anything else because your total cumulative fatigue has just gotten too high, and you just feel constantly drained. Anyone who knows someone in the neurodivergent community may have heard of this term and or concept of spoons. I don't know, maybe you've heard of them. It's pretty much how that community managed to identify cumulative fatigue for themselves on a person-to-person level. And while I, and maybe you, may not realize that going for a light jog cost me the ability to handle the stress of making dinner that night, so I just want to order a pizza, someone who's neurodivergent may have known that. They may have already been able to identify that. So what's the point of all this? Why am I bothering to go on about fatigue, roping in the neurodivergence, and telling you that you should absolutely go play Final Fantasy XIV? Well, it's obvious. This is a presentation. So I clearly have to give you tips. First off, there are a few really powerful ways to mitigate fatigue that people who've just gotten used to being low on spoons have gotten used to needing in order to reduce their load. So we're going to list out just a couple strategies that they use, and hopefully we can help reduce stress overall for everyone and let you have more energy at the end of the week. First off, try to automate as much as you can. Any bills that can be on auto pay, any tasks that can be done with a machine instead of manually, be it like a dishwasher or a laundry machine, or even automatically having your schedule carry over week to week for any standing appointments or things you're going to have to do. You know, like if you go to the dry cleaners every Thursday, have your phone automatically just set that to every Thursday. It's going to remind you that, so you don't have to think about it. It sounds silly to remember having to pay something or having to do a task on a specific day being a stressor, but for a lot of people, remembering to pay something like the electric on the 1st every month really contributes to their mental fatigue. Secondly, you can break down larger tasks into little bite-sized ones that can be done quickly, and it helps lower the bar for the overall objective to be done. So while I may put on my list, do yard work, and I go and I look outside and I get overwhelmed because I need to mow, I need to weed eat. Oh, look, the gutter's overflowing with leaves. Why is my driveway cracking? You see it all and you know that it's just a lot of work that you need to do and you don't know how you're going to have time to do it. It places a major stressor on you. It's a huge mental load. But you can break that down into smaller tasks like I need to weed eat. I need to mow the front lawn. I need to mow the back lawn. I need to clear the gutters. Things that you can separate and do over time. It gives you like these itemized little victories of progress. Having to do yard work on the list over the weekend and then not having the time or energy to do it will leave you feeling guilty if you can't manage to get it done. So either you're going to push yourself too hard and hurt yourself possibly, getting physically drained, physically fatigued, or you don't check it off the list and you feel like you failed the task. If you have a list of 5 things, mow the front lawn, weed eat, do the gutters, etc., and you get 4 of those done before you run out of time or energy, that's 4 little victories, little dopamine hits, and only 1 loss. So even though all the yard work did not get done, objectively you didn't do it, it'll make you feel like you accomplished more than you failed. It's like getting a 4-to-1 win to lose ratio. That feels a lot less stressful than just failing the task. In this last tip, it's going to be the one that we touch on that varies a bit more person to person, but it's just trying to get in the habit of preparing for the bad days and try to take note of how those personally affect you. This can look like making sure to stock up on groceries earlier than you normally would because you check the weather and there's going to be rain on Thursday and it's Tuesday, and you know that when it rains, you get so stressed driving in the rain. You hate how people are driving through all the lanes. You can't see well. You're worried of getting in a wreck. So that's a stressor to you. Go grocery shopping earlier. Get it done. Get it out of the way. This can look something on the physical side too, of just you wake up and your neck hurts or your shoulder hurts. You slept on it wrong. You're supposed to mount the TV on the wall for your dad this weekend, and maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, hey, Pops, sorry, I can't do it. My shoulder's stressing me out. Because if you do mount that TV and you physically hurt yourself, that's way more fatigue you'll have to deal with in the long run. You'll have to recover. You'll have to possibly go through physical therapy. It's a major, major stressful event that can happen that if you just know, hey, I'm hurting, don't do the task. And as I said, this will be one that varies a bit more person to person. And, preparing and getting in the habit of reducing the chance of a surprise happening really can lower your fatigue down the road. Everything we do will cause us fatigue in some way, no matter what it is. And I hope while I may be a rambler and clearly not totally entirely prepared for this, you can at least take away one key element from this. You obviously need to go play Final Fantasy XIV, as it's clearly the lowest cause of fatigue you can find. Just maybe don't raid.